The U.S.-Mexico border in Texas is longer than the border along the rest of the states bordering Mexico. Unlike New Mexico, Arizona, and California, the Texas-Mexico border is marked by a river, the Rio Grande. Historically, the river has brought the two countries together, economically, socially, and culturally. Now, because of bad economic conditions, towns along the border are straining with Mexican and other Latin American nationals who will try anything to overcome the immigration quotas of the U.S. government. The barriers are very real. Watch carefully this scene, filmed in the darkness of early morning, as a desperate Mexican national who knows he does not have the necessary papers to cross into the United States will cross illegally onto American soil. The undocumented alien ran up to a high fence on the Hidalgo-Reynosa Bridge in South Texas and climbed over it. As cars and people walked by, he balanced himself along a well-worn railing and jumped to American soil below. The alien and a companion were apprehended, but dozens others did the same thing while officers were arresting these aliens. As it happens every day along the border, the illegals join legal workers from Mexico who hold temporary working papers, visas, and resident alien cards, and who have crossed the border in a more orthodox way, through an immigration checkpoint. As dawn breaks, undocumented workers join the legally sanctioned workers at a parking lot 1 block away from the bridge. Farm labor contractors meet them there. The contractors should verify whether they are hiring only legal aliens and American citizens, but they seldom do. And in the slanting rays of the early morning sun, it is hard to tell who has taken the trouble to fill out government forms and who has not. What matters to the farm labor contractors in the lower Rio Grande Valley is that these are good workers who will take the low wages and long hours without complaining. Since the workers and the contractors are fully aware that deportation by authorities is only one phone call away. The work in the field is called stoop labor, cutting the cabbages with sharp knives, moving up and down the long rows, bending, cutting, and tossing. Progreso is a small town in the middle of the lower Rio Grande Valley. It is an example of what the agricultural conditions can do for the people. Most of its inhabitants are illegal. I went to meet a widow and her family. The woman, whom we'll call Mrs. Garcia, is 63 years old. She remembers back before the Immigration Act of 1924, when Mexicans and all Latin Americans were welcomed. She is a resident alien, but her son is in the United States illegally. She has tried for the past 3 years to make her son legal and herself an American citizen, but she can't.
Pues sí, pues que uno le hace la lucha que pues, o como ahorita que estamos así sin pasaporte.
Mrs. Garcia, her son, and the rest of their family will continue to live the lives of an illegal alien family because of the laws in the U.S. concerning immigration. Mrs. Garcia told me if she could only learn to speak English, she might get her citizenship. But she doesn't expect that to happen, and she will stay in Progreso the rest of her life. But the lure for the majority of the illegal aliens lies in the big cities. They drive, they take buses, and sometimes walk hundreds of miles to get to metropolitan areas like Houston. Salaries are larger here. The Houston District of the Immigration and Naturalization Service has found that a majority of the illegal aliens they apprehended last year earned wages ranging from $2.50 an hour to $4.50 an hour. Others, mostly in construction work, earn $6.50 an hour and more. Houston, over other cities, has fast become a destination city for illegal aliens because of the wages and economic conditions. In Houston, there are many neighborhoods and places for the Mexican nationals to feel at home, and employers make them feel at home too, with jobs. At one construction site, Norton Construction Vice President Glenn Jackson told me, since it is not against the law to hire illegal aliens, he does not inquire as to workers' citizenship.
We'll hire anyone that wants to work and will come on a regular basis. And I personally have found that with the illegal alien, or an undocumented alien, as they refer to them now, that they want to work and they want the job and they come every day and they do good quality work. And I can't understand that anyone would turn someone away like this when you need people to fill out your crews so that you can do your job.
What happens to the unemployed American citizen, though?
Well, I don't know about the unemployed American citizen. I keep hearing about the unemployment percentage increasing or decreasing, and how many are unemployed and how many are on unemployment or drawing welfare. But I know there are other businessmen in the city, such as myself, that cannot hire enough people to do the work that's available to be done.
The illegal alien worker has become a part of Houston's economy. The Houston director of the U.S. Department of Commerce, Felix Guerrero, guesses that business would grind to a halt if illegals were removed.
I would venture to say that all of the restaurants, a good number of the restaurants, would come to a dead stop.
You mean?
Many services, other services such as cleaning apartments and that type of thing, it would have to come to a halt. Now, the other thing is that suppose that we find a person is making in a job $2. And that person is deported, and a person is brought in, and the wage is raised to $3.50 or $3.25 or $3. What is going to be the impact of that added cost of producing to the end result? Are you and I going to have to pay more when we go down to a restaurant? Or are you and I going to have to pay more when our apartment or house is clean? Or you and I going to have to pay more at the gas station when the gas is pumped to us? I don't know. I would suspect so.
But while there apparently is a definite place in the American economy for the cheap, disorganized labor of the undocumented alien, there apparently is no place for the laborer and his family in our educational system. You're looking at 45 children of illegal aliens. These children are attending a special secret school called Project Ayuda. There are an estimated 5,000 such children living in the Houston area, but they cannot attend Houston public schools because of a district court ruling that they must pay tuition. This special school is taught by two ladies with only limited teaching experience.
I am not in favor of breaking the law of this country. I'm a native of this country. But that I leave that to the right authority. My aim is only to help these that are already here because they are not responsible for being here. Their parents brought them, so the children are not to blame.
The Texas Attorney General's office does not feel that way. An assistant attorney general cried with alarm that these children, quote, will virtually destroy the education we provide for our citizens and aliens that are legally admitted to the state. We can't afford it. We can't pay for it, end quote.
I feel that the Susan Thornton's statement could be nothing further from the truth. The undocumented or illegal alien in Texas, it comes under every sales tax provision, every income tax provision, and every school tax provision. They are taxed, and yet they are not given every benefit that the documented or legal resident receives.
Houston school officials say it would cost taxpayers $8 million to educate 5,000 alien children. There are conflicting impressions as to how much of an impact illegal aliens have on working Americans and on welfare and social services. In 1955, after an extensive Border Patrol roundup of illegals, unemployment compensation claims dropped by 8%, representing a savings of $188,000 in one state alone. Yet, a recent survey of illegal aliens apprehended by the Immigration and Naturalization Service showed that 77% were paying money into the Social Security system, and 0.5% were actually on welfare. That is to say, 99.5% of illegal aliens are not on welfare. Federal laws forbid anyone who is not a U.S. citizen or a legal resident alien from receiving welfare assistance. The Texas Department of Welfare requires caseworkers to report every illegal alien they find living with a family receiving welfare. This policy of making caseworkers into junior immigration officers has been challenged in a federal court suit. First started in 1974, the policy is a very sensitive issue in the Mexican-American community.
Well, it's a pretty bad feeling because a lot of times you go into somebody's house and you learn, like I was saying, about maybe a grandmother who came over in 1922 or something, and they've been taking care of her, and here's this real nice old lady that you have to, because it is part of our job, it is one of our regulations, we must turn this over to the immigration it's part of their privacy to have people there. And for us just to go in and have to turn them in, it's a pretty bad feeling for the caseworker to have to do that.
Social workers know, however, that most of their reports on illegal aliens are seldom acted on by an immigration agency that is sorely in need of more manpower.